I'm ready.
Let me do your hair. Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
It was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed her. Hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. I see you, Danny, in the chat. Ooh, let me do your hair. What up, what up, what up, what up? What's happening, good people? How y'all doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, the one and only, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, a.k.a. Key Lolo. That's right. And right over here, y'all know who that be, right? It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, the hair oracle. We coming to you live and direct from sunny San Diego. Check this out. And sunny Cleveland, Ohio. That's right. We have a nice, warm 72 degrees up in here. And we are officially... I know we are on our 98th episode, not quite 98 degrees, but we are up to 98 episodes coming up on 100 of the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. And we have a wonderful, wonderful podcast tonight. It's all about that side hustle versus the career in cosmetology and barbering. So the chat is going to be on fire. I see we got my homeboy from Vegas, the wonderful, the Mr. Looks So Good himself, Mr. Danny Michael. The birthday girl is in the chat. I see her, Miss Lawana. She let me know. She said, Ladosha, it's my birthday. Go shorty. Oh, it's her birthday week. Oh, she ain't got no birthday. Sure. Let me put my mic up. Excuse me, Lawana. It's birthday week. Correction, boo. Okay, so this is her birthday week. And so let's play our song as we wait for some more wonderful people to come into the chat. I see you, Miss Selena AG, in the chat. So let's get that music playing, Cheryl, so we can get everybody all ready. And, you know, we're going to sing our jam by the one and only Miss Sister Rachel Evans. And it's called Sister, Let Me and Cheryl Do All Y'all Hair. All y'all hair. We got license, though. Check that out. We do have license, right? Sure. I mean, y'all should let us hook y'all up. I mean, hey, we gonna do y'all hair, right? We can do it right here, you know. Y'all come on in. Y'all missed us last Monday. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, hey. Yeah. I got me some vodka right here. I'm drinking it straight up. Hey. I want to help you. Let me help your light to shine. Come on in, guys. And let Cheryl and I do y'all hair. Come on, y'all. If you would come on, let us put some curls in y'all hair. You know, put some cornrows, ponytails, and some updos, and pick some afros. Do some undercuts. What's up? Y'all see my undercut rocking? Yeah. And let me do your hair. Come on in, guys. Don't forget, share the show, hit that thumbs up button. Come on in. Won't on, let girl the hair oracle, T Lolo. Hey. Woo. Let me do your hair. Hey, ho, hey. Where are my old school hand dancers, all my jazz lovers, the sexy saxophonists? Come on in. We got 98 episodes going hard up in here tonight. Or if you are in sunny San Diego, we going hard up in here today. Yeah. Hey. And let me do your hair. Hey. And let me do your hair. Hey. And let me do your hair. Put your hands together. Come on. Put your hands together. Woo! All right now. Okay. We got 98 episodes of live streaming, 98 episodes of podcast. It started off as something very funny. But now it has turned into something very serious. A lot has transpired in these 98 episodes. And maybe on our 100th episode, Cheryl, we could just talk about some highlights. We can kind of scour through our 100 episodes. So you guys can join us if you would be so kind to scour back through some of your favorite episodes, so we can kind of highlight those. Cheryl said we're going to do some giveaways, and we're just going to have a good time on that 100th episode, which is probably going to be we're going to do it right here on the dumbest ish that people say about black hair. So we got 2 more Mondays, and then we're going to be into 100 episodes, and we're going to have, I know, Selena, we got 100 episodes in. So super duper shout out to everybody in the chat. Miss Lena, I see you. Danny has a very important question. This is now a word from our sponsors. Do y'all accept donations? Ooh, we hadn't thought about that. I don't know. Cheryl, do we accept donations?
Super chats.
So, why don't we do that? You know what, Danny? I'm going to have my son create us some super chats. There we go. See, that's what Cheryl, we talked about that on the podcast this afternoon. So you think you can do hair, and Cheryl shared with us the really importance of AI. Like, we can make a little extra money. So Danny, hold on to that $1 million check. Don't give it to the other podcast. Stay here with us. But again, guys, we are so excited to have you all in the chat with us. Tonight is going to be a very contentious topic. And it's all about, doing hair at home. In the basement, get your side hustle. Maybe you could turn yourself into a millionaire, whatever, so people are doing hair in the house. And these are the people who are saying we don't need cosmetology license. And Cheryl and I are like, you need something. So we're going to get into it. I have some wonderful some news articles that are recent. And we just came back from Georgia last Monday, and we saw and we heard firsthand testimonies from real live people who are doing hair illegally in Georgia, that they do not want the education because it costs so much, and then they don't want government oversight because they believe in free enterprise. This is America, the land of the free. Come on, y'all. and the home of the brave. So these patriotic people are saying, you know what? We don't need to, we don't need Uncle Sam or whatever you want to call him in our business. I with you, Lena. I'm going to give you a big fat round of applause because I'm really waiting for Cheryl to do exactly what you are just saying right here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Lena. That's really, really important because I want to go to Cheryl University as well. Maybe, just maybe, guys, we can kind of make Cheryl feel bad and have a quasi upscale university where only the elite can attend. And I think that would be nice. Oh, shoot. Now, hold on. Hold on. We got Gambia coming through the chat. Oh, what's up? Let me give a big fat round. Hey, Gambia been making all the money in the hair salon. Let's be a big round of applause. I've been sending them money like crap. I got some more money to send to y'all too, by the way. Not joking. Fatu came here and left some wonderful fashions from Africa. We also have one of our other customers' mom just got back from Ghana. So we're still selling clothes. We have a few pieces left, and I've been calling Fatu like every other week, like, yo, I got to send you some more money. So Fatu, I'll be sending Gay and Joel Skills Academy a little bit more loot after the lab. Look at Fatu is like this. That's $1, $2. Sorry, I have to put you guys out there like that. But that's what we do here in the good old United States of America is we believe in that. What's that? The 7 principles of the Nguzu Saba. It goes down like 24/7, 365 at the Reverend Desire Team Hair Salon. Our virtual co-host just dropped in on us. We miss you so much, Miss Sandra. We wasn't here last week because we were down in Atlanta trying to do our thing. So we're going to go ahead on and hop into the topic. Now, we want this chat to be very interactive. And of course, we want this to be, pure and real and unadulterated as we talk about people doing hair in their homes. They truly do feel like they don't need government oversight. Number one. Number two, they do believe in free enterprise. This is America. You should be able to cross the border. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You should be able to come into the country, be born into the country. This is why a lot of people do want to come to America because capitalism is just, it's off the Richter scale. So let's start off with the good old topic of capitalism because you got people yelling, y'all want to be socialist, but y'all want to sit down on the plantation, was they? I'm just saying. Okay. Anywho, so it's all about capitalism. So we got let's get your thoughts. We got Facebook in the chat. We have LinkedIn in the chat, and then we also have YouTube in the chat. So Cheryl, what is so good? Give us the pros and the cons of capitalism as we hop into the topic about I don't need a stupid cosmetology nor barber license to do what I do. I have gifted hands. It's in my culture, and I don't need none of that because I got the gift. And guess what? I got to use it. So hit us up with the pros and the cons. Just your opinion. I know you're not an economist or whatever you want to call those people. What's up with capitalism? Maybe explain to us what is capitalism and then just take it from there.
But I'm sure people are talking about just having free liberties, right? And they don't want to have any obstacles, standards, testing, anything like that. I think that's what they're talking about. That has nothing to do with capitalism.
Okay, come on now.
Right. And so
what's the difference?
Capitalism is free enterprise in terms of ownership, privatized ownership.
What they want to do? They want to own their own business. I want to own my business in my house.
Right. But at the same time as you had capitalism, you had slavery.
Right. What you talking about, Willis? Now you going? Now hold on, wait a minute, y'all. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta be. Hold on, Cheryl. You always gotta go deep. So I just gotta ask you this one question.
What you talking about, Willis?
Just ask a simple question. How you? What you talking about, Willis? What is
Well,
that?
well. Let me
How you gotta bring in slavery? Now there ain't nobody gonna want to listen to us.
let me back into this. Miss Lena asked said a statement, right? And she said she would sit in my chair anytime, right? And I would have to agree with her. But, right? But why would you want to sit in my chair versus someone else's chair? Especially when you know they didn't go to school. Let's just say it.
I'm a hustler, baby. I'm a hustler, baby. I'm the best rapper alive. Nigga, ask about me.
Right. So you would do that because you're assuming that I have a set of standards, a set of experience, and a set of rules and regs that I abide by. You know, I have respect and integrity for process, for instructions, for directions, and you know that I have a also respect for science and technology and application. And I have done those applications more often to the point where I have practiced the most up professionalism in terms of returning my customers' expectations with the amount of money that I charge. Now, we all know that. Now, all of those rules go out the door the moment that not only will that particular kitchen, chemist and, house hairstylist will not run. It's not that they don't have talented hands. It's just that they most likely will not run into, hold themselves to, or anyone else will hold them to any measurements or metric systems of excellence. They won't run into it.
Are you being bougie? I mean,
Uh,
what about those people like, look, girl, I just want my
no,
I'm here for a haircut,
I'm
you know what I'm
speaking.
saying? Sis, I'm just out
I'm
here.
speaking
We got a
all the
job
way.
interview, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get my
I'm
bag.
speaking. Right. I'm speaking always. We as cosmetologists, not just because of the license now, because we'll at first admit that, the education is not all that, university top till scholar. But what we will do is that there is some things that you learn, and especially being around amongst peers and instructors and professors, and just access to a broader industry. You know, you just have access to that. But I am always the industry's voice.
Hmm.
I'm for the customer. I take an oath. You know what I mean?
But I think, that's the other side on the side hustle.
Mhm.
The side hustle will not pour into their to their hustle, not on that level. It's definitely a GDI. It's a goddamn on individual, and so you're just gonna have
But
a very isolated situation there. But I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I work in the hair salon every day, and I'm not hating. First of all, let me just say this: I'm like Digital Underground. Shoot, do what you like. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, you want to go ahead on and do that. That's totally up to you. But I can tell you that those customers do work their way back into the hair salon. But
right.
before we get to that point of how they end up back in the hair salon, let's just go a little bit into the hobby, because at some point, like I did a little hair, at home, and just to try to kind of like wet my whistle, and then I went to cosmetology school. But where is the line between LaDosha did some hair at home, and my cousin, he did a little hair in the garage and in the basement, or, my aunt, she owned a hair salon, and we would go in and help her, with the foils and all this kind of stuff. We didn't have license then. So where is the fine line between it as a hobby and then you actually transition to, I want to go to the next level? So why is it that some people like myself, I decided to go to school, and then you have some people that are like, no, I'm not going. And then we had that other small group that went to school, couldn't pass the test. So they said, forget it. I'm just going to stay at home. Now, I'm not saying, this is the reality. Some people do go to cosmetology school, but they can't seem to pass that test. So give me your take on those three, and then that transition into a career.
Well, there's two different types of education. As long as you get past the license, just only means that you can charge money. You can open up a lease for a business. That's all it means. And of course, that has nothing to do with, now that you have a license, you're developing yourself as a professional. See, that has those two things, because of course there's certain things that you will do in your salon that you won't do in beauty school. There's certain things that you'll do in beauty school that you won't do in the hair salon.
And that's you want to do in the kitchen. Don't forget the kitchen now, in the basement, the garage.
Well, you have to remember, just because you have no boss doesn't mean that you still cannot do things wrong. The problem is that you have no one to call.
Uh-oh.
You have no relationships. You have no affiliations. You have no mentor. You have, you're just doing it to make extra money. This is your life, and you can't open up, a hair salon with chairs and sinks and all that kind of stuff in a home environment. You can do that too, but when you want to expand, it's time.
Okay. So we got the chat. The chat is in here a little bit quiet. Let's get you guys involved. We pretty full. The house is welcome.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Come on in.
We are y'all. Who's in the chat doing hair at home?
All right. So we're not gonna ask them who's doing hair at home. We don't want to.
Why not?
Okay.
It's a legitimate place. We're not saying that. We're just basically saying, in terms of turning the hustle from the.
Okay, so I guess what we want to know is, number one, are you for, how many people in the chat is truly for a person, doing hair out of their home as a side hustle or a business? Because some people I feel, I don't like you calling what I'm doing in my basement or a little annex to my, loft or whatever, a side hustle. This is the career. So how many people in the chat is for a person not having the education, just doing hair out of their house? Because maybe they're on YouTube. I don't know where they're getting their training from. I don't even know if they are, but we want to know how many people would really support someone who is going to do hair out of their home. And if you are a person who's doing hair out of your home, go ahead on and just, shout yourself out and say, yo, I'm doing hair out of my house, and it ain't nothing y'all could do about it. I don't care what y'all say. You know what I'm saying? So let's see where everybody is at on that. But while we're doing that, I see I got my boss. Everybody know what to do. I saw you snuck in on us, boss. So everybody go ahead on while you're answering and drop them L's in the chat. Let me go ahead and drop my L. We want to know what is you guys' honest opinion. Is it yes or no? Are you for this? Are you against it? And if you are one, just say, me too. I am a person who does not, who's working out of the house. Okay. And so where we're trying to go with this right now is to really, find that sweet spot where you take that hobby and then you go to the next level. Okay. Okay, so Beauty Business says, welcome, Beauty Business. We always like to hold on. Let me give a round of applause. We got a new cousin just came through the chat. Everybody put your hands together for our new cousin, Miss or Mr. Beauty Business gets that big round of applause. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, you love your fro. Well, if you look as good as that fro there, then you're good with us. So she says only if your license and state board has done an inspection of your home. So she's sticking to the rules that if the home is set up as a legitimate business, she'll come to your house. Okay. How many people now? I'm not bringing nobody to my house. I'm just gonna be honest. I did it a little bit while I was in cosmetology school, but that did not last very long. I didn't particularly care for all those people in my house. So we got one that says, all right, okay, here come Danny, the Vegas's premier barber. He definitely started out in the house, but he had to level up. So what is it in the house that they are missing compared to the salon? Because at home they definitely feel like this is all I'm gonna do, Cheryl. So I don't really need you and Danny's and beauty business high, métier, acumen or whatever. So what are they missing at home that would, like he said, go to the next level?
One thing I have not shared is that when I was in New York in maybe the last, I'd say 7 to 8 years, I had a brownstone, and I was in the middle floor. And the key here, and I had a private practice in my home. But problem is that it was split. And when you went in the front door, you just went to the left. And I lived in the back of the brownstone because the brownstones are very long, right?
Right.
And there is a commercial energy in the front with salon chair and everything. And it's kind of common in brownstone to be dual purposed. And so I completely understand. Bliss Spa started Marcia Kilgore started as a facialist, and she did facials in the front, and she lived in the back part. And I think that it's not the fact that it's the confines of the home or when you go into a different entrance.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that it is the hustle mentality.
What do you mean by hustle mentality? Because I see Danny says he had to level up. So at what point are you hustling and are you leveling up? Because people are going to these people's homes and they may not be aware that you're only at the precipice. The person hasn't, so where does the hustle end and the level up begin? So what do you mean by hustle?
Right. The level up portion is an elevation, one, professional equipment, room, the power in the room to have space and in an environment. However, but hustle is that you're cutting for cash. You're styling for cash. You're styling for, and of course, they can pay you by Cash App and all this other stuff. The key here is that there is no way of expansion. There's no other way to be able to expand. And we're not necessarily saying that the building in and of itself. What we're saying is if I wanted to add different services, then again, why don't you just invest in the space? Because in your home, you're still going to have to be able to expand in your plumbing. You're going to have to expand in your space. You're going to have to be, different equipment, different services. Your time, you allocate your time different. You're concentrating different when you're not at home. Okay. And so it's just a different in terms of energy. But when you want to go to the next level, or level up, there's only so much that client's going to pay you for. Unless you're doing or braids. You're not going to be able to get a client that is wanting to have multiple parking, wanting to be able to be in a relaxing environment, and then your environment is just so much more, and then you can't take advantage of tax breaks or anything else. So There's no way to expand. That's
Hmm. So
basically.
So now you have beauty business says doing hair at home isn't a side hustle nor a hobby. Well, what would you say that is, beauty business? Because that is how it is described. You know, that's the word that they use, is that there is a side hustle. I use the word hobby just to not be offensive, because like Cheryl said, we're not trying to say that these people are not talented, but I'm just interested if you say it isn't a side hustle or a hobby. Just share with us then, what is it that these people are doing? Because one thing's for certain and two things for sure, they are getting paid. So they feel like, well, I'm doing hair at home, so it's my side hustle. I'm trying to get a little extra money, and they don't really see that as a hobby. So I'm interested, because that's a very powerful statement, that it's not a side hustle nor a hobby. I know some people might say it's illegal. In certain states, it's definitely illegal to be doing this outside of your home. I don't know if the state
I
board.
don't think I don't think the place makes it a side hustle or hobby. It's not the fact that it's a house. It's not the fact that it's just that you're let's just say, for instance, it's your kitchen, or you've built
Mhm,
on an extra room, right? And I don't
mhm,
think that is, an issue. Like I said, I had a private practice. I did hair coaching, and I did do private clients. But that space I had to turn into a commercial energy, not connected to the space that I
yes.
cook and do hair in the same spot that I actually
Got,
live in.
got,
But
got.
but hey, but everyone is perceiving, just because you're at home, that they're calling it a side hustle. I'm not necessarily agree with that.
Right. So we like the space at home, provided the space at home is a
Mhm.
professional space and not a personal space. And the term side hustle, it is used. You do hear a lot of people who are, I mean, well, the customers bring stuff in, they show us stuff. And I've met people, who said that this is what they call it. So not to say that everybody blankets the term side hustle, but we're just kind of using that term, for the sake of everybody can understand what a side hustle is. But at the end of the day, people will say that they are getting their hustle on when they're trying to make, cutting some hair and they need a little extra money, and you are in the spirit of a little hustler. You're just trying to move really fast and get something done very quick, and get that money and make things happen. So our virtual co-host says, to her, it doesn't matter as long as they have the experience and the license. So the license is still coming up. She went to many stylists that started out at home, but had to up the ante and eventually open a hair salon. And that would be me. I had a few people. I didn't like the whole doing the hair at home thing, because I ain't like all them people in my house. Number one. Number two, my children hated it. Number three, at some point, you don't know who you're letting in. So it also became not very safe. Even though I didn't do men, I just didn't think it was very safe for me to do that with my children. So but I knew I was going to go to school at some point, because like you said, you just realize you don't know so much. All right. So moving the conversation along, where is it the whole, what is it that they're missing? At home that they could be getting, because that's the whole thing. Well, if I'm doing weaves, I'm doing box braids, I'm doing fades, I'm doing cuts, and I got like 5 people every day. I'm up, sun up to sundown. What more? Like, what more do I need? I already got, 4 or 5 customers braiding hair, so on and so forth. So what are they missing when they do hair at home and in the garage or the basement?
Well, I think that they're missing a couple of things, but it's alchemical to me and psychological. You don't have a line of demarcation between home and work. And so when you don't have that psychological shift and that advantage to shift, you don't have a gear. You don't have a up gear or a down gear. Most of the hairstylists that I did mentor, in going into that next level, as Danny would say, that leveling up, it was those who stayed maybe styled at home too long, right? And there is a psychological shift when you are actually in a location, because then you can create a home life. You can create downtime. You can have a different lifestyle. And when you work in your home environment, I mean, I can, and as much as mine was separated, you begin complacent and you don't leave the house, literally.
Oh, so you
And right, there is something about home workspaces, and we all knew that we wanted to, because one of the things that they think they're doing is that they're in their own businesses and they have, lost the boss, and they don't have the
oh,
boss.
I
They
like
find,
that. Lost the boss. Okay.
right, but it is also a catch 22, because then at that point you don't understand that your well-being is being stifled,
Right.
because everything is meshing and melting together.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a request from our virtual co-host. She says, Cheryl, she wants you to show people how to help change the narrative about doing hair at home without a license. Show them how to do it. Here we go, Sandra. We got you. Watch this. Cheryl gonna show y'all how to do it. Ready? Go. All
Let's go.
right, so come on, guys. The chat is looking pretty full. So you guys must be liking this conversation again tonight. We are talking about the side hustle. My son used to say, "I get my muscle from my dad and my hustle from my mom." So what is it about this side hustle, hobby, and then becoming a cosmetologist or a licensed professional that really seems to just kind of get some angst? Here is my biggest concern. Let me show you this right here. Here's my biggest concern. Look at this. Mom arrested after Instagram post about 5-year-old daughter helping to wax adult clients. And it is this kind of stuff right here. I see it on Facebook. They have classes where they're teaching children. I'm like, I don't even know what to say about, number one, the people who set and allowed the 5-year-old. This was Brazilian wax. So we're talking about in the private area. Okay. Yeah, and you could say the younger girl appearing to apply hot wax to the pubic areas of adults. And I know you're like, but that's not the average case. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised what's going on in the homes. People do come back to the hair salons and they tell us what they saw. They saw someone on Instagram. They went into, I think it's called Style Seat. And so Style Seat, and we saw that during the Afro Hair Summit. Remember, Cheryl,
Yeah.
where the researcher was trying to get cosmetologists to participate in her research study, and she went to Style Seat to get her subjects. And she didn't know that half of the people on Style Seat are not licensed professionals. And so this is one of those examples. I don't know that they found her on Style Seat, but this is what we hear, these types of things. So Cheryl, I know this is like not the norm, but what are some of the dangers of, just letting people, come into your home, and what does that mean to the customer? And of course, we got to get into the whole, Barber side, public safety, that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But this is truly, guys, the worst case scenario. And this is why we should not deregulate barbering and cosmetology. You would think a person would know to not have a 5-year-old apply wax to somebody's private areas or any area, but they just don't have that discernment. So what do you say about something like this extreme case?
I think obviously she had more clients than she could handle, and instead of sharing, she probably was cheap. and she trained her daughter at 5 years old to do that. I can't really actually say I believe that there was a lot of customers that let the child do that. But I will say, um, that's when you start getting into um, that's not sustainable. That is not something that particular mother or father, whoever. Oh, they said a mother, right?
Right. It was the mother.
Right. That's not something that she will be doing for very long. That's not a
Yeah.
person who's interested in a career in beauty.
Right. And to beauty business point, and I like that. Thank you so much. I'm really loving your comments. Really. So welcome to our platform. Again, welcome our people from LinkedIn and again, Facebook and YouTube. Some of the best hairstylists and nail techs started at home. And once they receive their license, they venture out to commercial property. Okay. That's very, very true. And
Well,
so like we
they started out before they even went to a license.
mm-hmm,
They were doing hair at home before they even decided to go to school. So
mm-hmm.
it would make sense for them to start out at home.
Right, right. So here we have a situation here. Let me see if I can get this right. Whoops, is it this one here? Okay, so here's a lady. This is new. This is not last week. It's this week actually. In South Carolina. So she's ready to fight the cosmetology law. She wants to do hair and makeup for brides, right? And so she moved, I believe she moved to South Carolina and she decided, you know what? I want to open up a business. Here it is, right here, Cheryl. So she wanted to start an at home beauty service like hairstyling and makeup from her household. And then someone told her, that's illegal. And here it is. This was brought to her attention, and she didn't see anything wrong with doing updos and makeup at home. So, what do you guys think about this lady here who wants to do updos and makeup at home with no license?
And we have to figure out why it is illegal. And you guys have to understand that once you open up, let's say there's a building, right? And it is redlined for commercial business, not residential. So it's the same. It's the same reason why state taxes and city taxes do not allot for that, because it opens up the door for just so many other violations. One, employee tax, and I know she's going to be the sole proprietor and things of that nature, but there's something that is in the banking world, the court world, the judicial system. It's called bonding. I'm bonded. When a person says I'm bonded, that means that they've done a credit check, they've done a background check, they've done all of these things, and it's just good consumer business.
Mm-hmm.
And people get lackadaisical and, kind of careless and, lackadaisical to the point where of certain standards that customers are expecting, because the moment something goes a little weird, or as they say, go left or something, then you're going to start seeing the consumer's expectations supersede the moment you guys go into a contract about an agreed price or agreed service, and then there's a verbal contract and things, and that's why you end up in small claims court. At the end of the day, that customer wants to know that you're bonded, that you're vetted some way, somehow.
I think that people don't really think that lawsuits happen. They do. I've been taken to court like 3 times Nothing about, hair per se, but like products and things. But it does happen, and you better have some insurance. You're gonna need an attorney. And I think people who do hair at home, they're kind of like, the chance of that happening is like nil. Yeah, but it could happen, and there is something that transpires between the customer and the technician when they exchange the money. And then you also point out there's an added responsibility that nobody likes to talk about when you own a business, and that is your taxes. That is also your professional commitment to your overall community. I know we don't think we should have to pay into associations and all of these things, but you do have a greater responsibility than to yourself when you open up a business. You don't have to, it's not by law. Most people don't go to jail for
No.
not filing properly, and the IRS, they'll work with you. Nobody gets kicked out the industry because you're not a part of the organization, but you're not raising it up so that we can attract some really good people to enter the industry and take it to a new level, like Cheryl and I are doing with the Afro Hair Summit, because we know that the education in barbering and cosmetology, it needs to be raised, because we do have so much pseudo stuff happening out here. So we got a lot of comments. Ooh, the chat was on fire. Okay, all right. So even plumbers and electricians have to be licensed. What's up, Theo? What's up, Miss Clark? Bonding. Yes, you're absolutely right. She says chemicals is what makes this illegal. But this lady, of course, is going to say she is not doing chemicals. She is just doing updos and makeups, and they don't consider makeup and hairspray chemicals. Okay, just for the record, they don't consider those. What about these types of things right here, Cheryl, where you have these natural hair care workshops where they're teaching people, how, oops, wrong one. They're teaching people how to do hair. So she's going to get an overview of natural hair textures. I think some of these things give lay people who are not licensed, a false sense of security, because this is not in a school, and it's not a CEU. Not to say her stuff isn't, valid, but what do you say about these types of workshops that really kind of gives people without the license, especially the natural hairstylists? I really think those people are really, I don't know.
Well, Google information and YouTube information is not peer reviewed.
Talk about that. Meaning peer
Well,
review, meaning
peer review means that, you know, it's no expertise to the point where it has not been tested up against other forms of knowledge and other data sets, like metrics of, years and study and what have you studied, what do you specialize in. You specialize in hair loss, certain organizations bylaws, or have you been exposed to any um uh, peer level kind of development? And I think
But I
it's
think it's something about the natural hair where they kind of feel like they're exempt, because that natural hair community really kind of claims they own the blackness, and that because the barbering and cosmetology education excluded the black culture or experience or whatever, that they're kind of exempt. So this type of workshops, it's not a class. She's not saying that this is a school, it's a workshop. So these are needed because Miladies and Pivot Point, and I forgot the other one, they have failed to talk about these types of things.
Well, you guys have to, first of all, let me get a myth straightened out. If you never came to America, your ass would be in school. They wouldn't be hearing about shit y'all talking about. Okay? Just because you here in America, and you guys think that just because white folks started cosmetology, there are more years and tough science and alchemy and things that you guys would be exposed to if y'all ass never came to America. Africans do not play that shit. So you
Well,
guys need to understand, just westernized cosmetology. Y'all can fight against it all you want to. You can talk about that culture. You can talk about this and naturalness. You want to get into a real deep mathematical, scientific, technological, engineering, scientific conversation. You get in one with an alchemist from Senegal, or you get in one from Ghana, and you get in one from Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast. It doesn't make a difference. The inner core of Africa. Science came from Africa, so you guys can get off of this thing about just because it comes from Africa, it's culture, that it has no science and no high scholar, no high lifestyle, no high metrics. Get out of that. Because when you come to the Afro Science Summit, I'm going to crack you on top of the head, and your ass will be an Afrocentric cosmetologist once you leave. You're going to know everything. You're going to know the 360. Your ass ain't coming out here just talking about, oh, I'm just artistically, inclined. I'm just, I'm just gifted. I got hands. Well, your ass going to know when you shake that bottle and you put something liquid or cream or solid or alkaline or some type of chemistry to that head, if you don't know what you're doing in terms of terms and glossary and measurements and percentages, if we talking about business and hair loss, you will be a scholar messing around with the Afro Hair Science Summit. So I don't know what I'm talking about. You will know your history. You'll know your culture. You will know subgroups. All of Africa are 54 different types of people. It's the most diverse continent on the planet. And just because it's culture and just because it's not homegrown, there is a science and method and spiritual and ancestral and economic reason for everything. Come on, y'all. Stop all that. I don't give a shit if it's culture. Culture is not an excuse. None. Unexposed and ignorant.
Well. What have we here now? I'm with you. The Oracle has spoken. Everybody is in the chat like, go get them, shut them down, shut them down. Again, Beauty Business is in the chat. You on fire. Let me drop a bomb for you too. I hope you come back and join us because you are on your A game tonight. So Beauty Business, this bomb, boom, it's most certainly for you because what you're saying, baby, that's the bomb. We got to get off those Google. We have to stay off of Google. And to Cheryl, and I want you to speak to that too, Cheryl, because we talked about that this afternoon about the challenge of turning to YouTube and Google and TikTok or wherever you're at, Snapchat, to get the information. But to your point, now when I went to Africa, I ain't gonna try to perpetrate and act like I was living over there for like 6 months, but I can tell you one thing for certain and two things for sure. All this stuff they're doing here in America in the name of Africanity, it would not jive in Africa. And we had a Theo Kefele. Kefele said to my face, Africa is not the gold standard. They're not the metrics. I was just want to say, well, then why do you guys keep saying that? Why do you keep bringing in Africa? But then you say Africa, they're not the people for us to measure ourselves up to.
Yeah, because so what are you saying? The Caribbean is? Their ass was enslaved just like your ass was. In fact, double enslaved. They speak Spanish and English. They was colonized twice. So what? When we said that to say what? Because they always do say that, Miss Key Lolo. They always do say that. So what are you saying? It's Canadian? What?
Yeah.
Come on,
and and when I went to and then you also have to keep in mind, I know everybody knows this, but I have to say it, Africa
that part there.
Yeah, it's a continent. So different parts of Africa, different nations, they have so many variations that we haven't been over there. That's the other thing. I always ask, have you been to Africa? I remember before I went. Any part, people was like, they wear weaves and they don't do this, they don't. I mean,
they don't understand nothing.
You don't. When you go there, it's so no YouTube. No, I can't even give you I can give you my experience, but Africa is a place you need to go and visit for yourself. Anybody that's on any, including myself, like I said, don't let me tell you. Go hear it, go learn it, go find out for yourself. That's really, really important for you to understand, because I hear crazy things about Africans that are just not true, particularly West Africa. And you have to have a cosmetology license. You have to get your barber's license and education to do hair legally. I don't care if you're in the hood, okay? They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear anything about we Black and we Africans. They're not interested, okay? They are pro education, period. No, and they want it high, and they don't mind that the education comes from across seas, come from America, come from Europe. Those folks believe in education, and so all the bad things you hear about Africa, go for yourself and have your own experience, and you'll find out. Like Cheryl said, they ain't just throwing cowrie shells. No disrespect. They you can't. I don't know. Okay,
Let me say this. Let me say this. When we were doing the braiding, and one of the braid techniques was the mop. All Black American children, all Black American folks, okay, that was born in this country, fingers was like this, trying to get that mop technique. And we was like, wait a minute, what?
The whole entire class. Danny was there. I mean, he'll tell you it was.
Come on now, that was not for the faint at heart. That is not. They are not playing.
Yeah, and again,
I don't know. I don't even know where we get that from. That is so low level, and I'm sorry, y'all, if that is offensive, but nah. And I understand that natural hair care world wants to lower the bar, keep lowering it, so you can have low entry. Locticians want to lower the bar.
Well, they don't think they're lowering the bar when you're talking about doing hair as a side hustle compared to being doing it as a career. Their argument is that there is no education for the Black, not the African.
Oh, well, bring your ass to Afro Hair Science Summit, and I'll blow your freaking mind. And that's in the conversation. If you want to really truly understand the Afrocentric roots and perspective, and something that is more aligned to your ancestral soul, that once you learn it, you don't memorize it. It is a part of you. You want to embody it? October. See you then. And your ass better be ready, because I'm not playing.
Well, Danny says a lot of us have aversion towards learning. What does that mean?
Danny? We think learning is white.
Wow.
We think learning is going to somehow, that's called ego. Come on now, Danny. It's called ego.
Yeah, I don't, Cheryl made a good example again earlier this afternoon when she said, when we talked about what can schools do to bring their education up to date. And she said, they could play these YouTube videos and dissect what that video is doing right and what the video is doing wrong, and so on and so forth, because coming on to these platforms to try to learn or get some insight. Like, I have a lot of tutorials right here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel, but it's really for the customer to take care of their hair at home. Absolutely. Because all cosmetologists are professional ones anyway. We are all about protecting that investment. And so a lot of people really believe that once you get your hair done, you don't have to do anything. And so that's what we use the tutorials for. It's not in lieu of school. So the side hustle people are not going to be able to get more of that education, like you said, to elevate themselves with the problems that come in, because the truth of the matter is, as we wrap this podcast up, they bring the problems back to the salon. That's what the people at home don't want to. I mean, people who cut hair, do makeup, do weaves, braids, whatever, hairstyles, hair coloring, they all end up back at the hair salon. And I'm here to tell you the reason why we are so pro the Afro Hair Science Summit is because a lot of what we see that's coming back into the salon, Miladies isn't even touching on the damage that's taking place not only by the natural hair community, but by those cosmetologists who lean in to the natural hair community language. Like when I hear a professional say 4C hair, I'm done. You have lost me. If you are a licensed professional and you are using terms like 4C and you're using language like natural hair, silk press, let's take silk press for example. Would you guys know that it is that term silk press that the Institute for Justice and Americans for Prosperity are using to beat Georgia's ass? See, we have no business taking on the language of, when I was a social worker, an outreach
Say
worker,
it.
I'm sorry.
Come on now.
When I was an outreach worker, that was something we was forbidden to do. I mean, in supervision, do not take on the affect of the people that you are servicing. Now, I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted. I ain't gonna tell no more. Straight up from the projects, okay? Yellow down here on Scoville. If you from Cleveland, you know you can't get no more ghetto than the yellow projects. Now that's not to say ghetto, we didn't have, standards or whatever, but I'm talking about from the hood, that stereotype, okay?
Forget
And
what
what
you're supposed to say.
I'm telling you, you guys have got to understand that whole that pushback, that whole what you don't need, you're
No. You talking about the language. You was about to hit that shit. Okay. You said don't be talking like no person that don't know what they talking about.
we
You
had no,
cannot take on the lexicon. You
you
cannot
can't
take on the verbiage. You cannot take on the linguistics of the people you are trying to get back in school.
can't do it, guys. They are taking the silk press and they are using that service to say that's the service. That's the service. That's the service that we, and they're capitalizing. And if you don't believe me, here we go. Because I got to go get them receipts, right, Cheryl? These are the dangers. When you say 4C hair, when you say, I don't use silk press, these are not good words. So here she is right here. Ha ha. Here's the culprit to the dry bar. Everybody's been asking, what's up with this dry bar? So here's the 48-year-old self-made millionaire who launched a 225 million hair styling empire. So she opens up these little boutiques at their hair salons, but she called them dry bars. And basically what she did this with no license, okay? So she was 15 years as a professional. Oh, there she was. She was a professional stylist, but she ended up being a stay-home mom. And so she decided offering these affordable in-home blowout services, right? So then they saw the other side. Oh, when the black folk add a flat iron, they call it silk press. This is the population that says what? Cosmetology school is too expensive. These are your single moms. This is your LGBTQ community. So they're taking that service and they said, put it inside her blueprint, her format, right? And you can do this service called, what they call it, blowout. I think they call it silk press or something. We're going to have Kay, and we're going to have both Kays on from Georgia to help kind of make sure we're not mixing this up. But that is one of the niche services that they want to take out of Georgia's license. Shampoo, condition, blow dry, silk press. No license,
Now,
no education.
and another thing that I thought about. See, because this is all compounded. Because now the hair is so hard to do because y'all putting on milkshakes, salad dressing, cranberry sauce, you know what I mean, and mayonnaise, and you know what I mean, mustard, all that other crazy shit. in your hair. Now you can't get the shit out. Now you can't get it out. So guess what they do? Do all that bullshit that I don't want to do. You come with your hair already washed. Bingo. That's why there's a dry bar. All I want to do is heat style. Dry bar. Do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't see Danny's quote. They're burning up the hair with the ceramic. Damn.
Okay, here we go. Danny, let me bring Danny's quote back up. Hold up, wait 1 second. Don't take on the effect of the people you're servicing. That is very true. We were not allowed. You just it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
so when
you
start,
the doctor saying, keep low.
You got
a crunk in your neck. Okay, well, let me get this crunk.
Knocked up.
It helps. It hurts when I do that. Don't do that. It'll be all right.
Oh, the doctor do this. Hold on. Let me see what Google's saying. You want your neck to look like this? Is that what you want? We wouldn't like that. We really wouldn't like it. It sounds funny. We wouldn't like it. We went to a restaurant and said, could you make my chicken wings look like this? We really wouldn't like that, but yet we do that in the beauty industry. So when you start to you take on the effect of the people that you're servicing, and you're saying things like 4C hair, silk press.
What is your hair?
What's the other one? They got 4C. They got natural. How about this one? Do you do healthy hair? I'm a healthy hair. These are not terms in our industry that we should not be talking like that, because what we don't understand is that there's a large group of people who, like Cheryl said, they don't have a plan B, guys. We are their plan A. You guys are going to work now. You might say I ain't on the plantation, but we heard, and we're going to play this on Thursday, so make sure you come back. We have the testimony from the salon owner who says the reason why she wants the people to do the blow dry and the silk press service is because she don't want to get carpal tunnels. So let that apprentice.
So in other words, the person you trained to be an assistant for you, she don't have to go to school, but you did. So now she can have, and we all know as professionals, come on, y'all, all professionals and salon owners, barber stylists, we all know that blow drying, soap and shampoo and conditioner is all of the services that build up to the final phase.
That's right.
And that is what they cannot do. They're going to do that.
Oh, they're going to do it. You already know what's going to happen. Guess who? We have a surprise guest in the chat, because I think some people out here might think this is a joke. I did drop the link in the chat, but we do have our one and only Miss Tasha. That's right. Miss Tasha Davis is in the chat. She was there.
She was there.
She was there, and she gave a dynamic testimony. I know you was nervous, baby, but you did that. You guys did such a good job. I want you guys to stick around and find out what happened at the end of their testimony. These are the licensed cosmetologists in Georgia. You guys think this stuff is a joke. This is not a joke. It is not funny when people say stuff like 4C hair, silk press, natural hairstylist, healthy hair expert. You guys what was the other one?
Blow and go.
Blow and go. These are the terms that they're using to fragment the industry and snatch the license. Once you start taking apart the license, it doesn't have any value. Well, if I can go to school, if I don't have to go to school to shampoo, blow dry, and style, then I ain't going to go. Who's going to come in my house to check and see if I'm coloring hair? If they had the other part in that bill was they said you can cut beards, right? You can do trims, and you can do these things, these undercuts.
Yeah,
dude,
you can have a blade.
A blade, dude, with no education.
That is what barbering meant.
That's what barbering. How you
It's
gonna
called
take
blade work.
how you gonna take the intro to the actual service of barbering and take it and just prostitute it out like that and say, well, you
And you,
know what?
and you can wax. I mean, I
Any
can snatch your root out of your skin. Ain't gotta have no lice.
and this young lady here, it was she, Camille, Kay, Kevin. I'm not gonna say Samuels. I keep getting his last name wrong. It's not Kevin Samuels. I'm sorry, guys.
Anthony.
Kevin Anthony, Kevin Anthony, and Kay, Mrs. Kay Kendricks, the chair of the State Board of Cosmetology. These people right here were
What?
phenomenal. I came in and I had my 2 cents, but I'm
You
telling
don't have
you,
the clip where
these
the man
people.
said you don't have
But we're gonna save that for Thursday. I got the clip because I want y'all to come in back on Thursday so y'all can see what happened at the end. Because the Institute for Justice and Americans for Prosperity, they came harder than hard, not one bit soft. But when Natasha stood up and spoke, she said, I don't know what I said. You told them the truth. You guys put context behind what happens in the real world when you style hair, when you do this side hustle. You should not be going to somebody's house. You should not be promoting that someone does not need any education with clip. I'm a cosmetologist. I had to be trained how to use a clipper because I was just like, they was like, no, you can't do that, guys. It's okay if you want to do it at home with your cousin, and we ain't got nothing to do what you do at home. But you're talking about allowing people to open up a business inside their homes. They're saying you don't need a license to do this. Danny, would you please tell them an undercut is barbering?
and
That's barbering.
not only that, Danny knows quite well, as I'm sure if you guys have seen other barbers. You know, follicular degeneration syndrome. Okay, keloid keloid Dallas. All of those real diseases and conditions and disorders from the in the back of the nape. Those are not natural occurrences. Those are caused by improper shaving or too close. The afro texture, you must know the afro texture must be cut in a certain kind of way. And just because you meet and you take it off the head and it looks pretty doesn't mean it's healthy. And that's the line of where professionalism and layman is divided. Just because something looks pretty doesn't mean that it was properly done and achieved at that particular time.
And I think beauty business, I got to give you another. This right here deserves a
Exactly.
serious. Here you go, right here. Here you go. We're gonna drop the bomb on you tonight. You are absolutely like, whoa. I mean, dude. Come on now. Can we all give it up for beauty business in the chat? She came through. We so appreciate you're giving some, I mean, some dynamic feedback. It's like that's like allowing your friend to do a breast reduction. Uh
We already know
can't.
what happens when those cosmetic doctors are not vetted. They do not come with any pedigree or any review attachments to them, or any integrity or character or any type of business connections to the industry. We know what happened. They die. I think the last woman that died and left one of the rappers, left him. He's a widower and with 3 children. It's just not. It's not a game. It really isn't.
It's not a game. We got former state senator Shirley Smith is in the chat saying she sees us. If you guys are wondering, Miss Tasha, you was wondering how did you become an activist? We met her at the Bronner Brothers Town Hall, and she says, LaDosha, I want to get down. I'm ready to get down like that, like what you doing. It's this woman right here. This woman right here, former state senator Shirley Smith, is how I was taught how to get down as a citizen using my rights to speak up for what I think. And you have a right to do those things too, but we do need the support and the help of people like you guys to go ahead. Cassandra is in the chat saying, if y'all don't do, show them how to do it one more time because they ain't doing it. So Cheryl's going to show y'all right now how you guys can help change the narrative about doing hair in that kitchen and them basement. Show them one more time. Here we go, Cheryl.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right, so all you got to do right now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Show y'all girls some love. We out here, speaking hard and giving you guys the pure and unadulterated fact. I think at the end of the day, as we wrap this up, Beauty Business is making a very good point. When she says at some point the hobby turns into it's time for y'all to go to school. All right, so level up your game and go ahead on and go to cosmetology school. And if you don't like what's not in cosmetology school, then you can join Cheryl Morrow and I by helping. There's a law. There's a bill, that's been proposed. It's not been introduced. It's just proposed, all right, here in the state of Ohio, that we bring textured hair science. And I think Natasha is right in here. She's saying that they're trying to dismiss the science of what we do. There is a science, okay? And this right here, Miss Sandra, surely gonna get you. But your hair ain't no such thing as no 4B and 4. Y'all better cut that out, all right? Now we done told y'all 1,000 times that's pseudo, all right? There's no science. We got to stop this nonsense, okay? No such thing as 4C hair. Please, that's just doesn't make any sense.
And somebody, please, in a graph, explain to me what the number stands for as opposed to the alphabet. Just explain how y'all do that. Just come on now, just explain.
I can't even make out the rhyme or reason. But you know how they say, if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Oh, because the 4 and then the letter and then the alphabet sounds like algebra. Maybe explain it. Just where does the 4 come in, the numeral component with the alphabet component? Just tell me how all that goes together, and then I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, we don't think that's going to be able to happen. But if you want to give us the answer, email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com. And we would love to hear your take on it. We're going to be back next week on Monday. That's going to be 99. What's Jay-Z said? I got 99 problems and hair ain't one. So we're going to be back on Monday. And we are going to be talking about the role of the mama. Remember, March is women's month, okay? And so make sure, am I saying that's right? Yeah. So March is the month that celebrates women. And so we're going to talk about our mamas, okay? So we want you guys to come in and tell us some good old-fashioned mommy stories. And Cheryl's going to talk about the role. Now, we know dads have a role too, but remember, March is all about the women. So we're going to talk about the role of women, mothers and aunts and grandmothers when it comes to hair, because a lot of people are like sending their children to the hair salon and, all this kind of stuff, which we're not big fans of, by the way. You need to be doing your children's hair yourself. The salon is not the place. But we're going to talk about why, if you're a mom or a foster mom or a stepmom or whatever, please make sure you join us, because we're going to talk about that. And then Thursday, let me just get my little image here. We definitely need you guys to come back on Thursday, because check this out.
Woo!
Bam! Miss Tasha, if you can make sure you're in the chat, I'm going to send you the link. I want you to give me your email address so we can invite you into the chat as well. I don't know what happened to the rest of her name. I'll put it back up there. Oh, the thing is cutting it off. But anywho, so in the center here, we have Miss Kay Cantrell, and she's a licensed cosmetologist and a business owner of a hair salon in Georgia. And then right here, this is Mrs. Kay Kendricks. She's the chair of the Barber and Cosmetology Board in Georgia. And so the next bill that's coming up is Senate House Bill 354. So say no to 354. There's a petition. We're going to drop the petition in the chat after the live for you guys to sign. So we're going to have these lovely ladies on. And I just went on ahead and made it a point to invite, where'd she go? Let me put her name back up here so she can say I ain't playing. I ain't messing around. Here she go. So we want to invite Miss Tasha. Make sure you send me your email address. She was there too. We're going to invite her to come in and talk about her experience giving testimony, because this is what people don't do when they're doing their side hustle. People who are doing hair in the kitchen and at home and in the basement, when their stuff is under attack, they're not going to get on an airplane and fly to Georgia to help their people out. I did that. And you want to know why I did that and how I was able to do that? Let me pull her back up again. I know she don't like when I do this, but I don't care. She can't make me. You know what they say? I love you. I like you. And nothing you can do about it. This woman right here, she taught me how to do that. When we found out what was happening in Georgia, Cheryl and I, we revamped our whole plan at the Bronner Brothers show to make it our point to help these young ladies out. So come back and join us on Thursday as we talk about what's happening in Georgia. And we got to get to the seriousness of these cosmetology licenses. And I don't think any person can talk about this better than the chair of the State Board of Cosmetology. I wish somebody in Ohio, maybe we'll invite Ohio to see if she'll come on. But anywho, you want to wrap us up with some food for thought of doing hair at home versus doing hair as a career. So you got your side hustle and then your hobbies, and then you have your profession. What do you have to say about that, Cheryl?
Home gave you the skills, is where you honed the skills, is where you inspired it. But the world is your work. The world is your work. And every time that you can up your game in space, in luxury, in equipment, in offerings, and that space that allows you to detach from home. So when you go home, home is home. And that makes a better hairstylist, makes a healthier hairstylist to where you can separate from your work. It just does other things for you in terms of your total well-being and your way to a 360-degree career. And so I just want to just say, I know that, we all have to be open, and no way, shape, form does the location make you any less valuable, any less talented. But what it does is it does keep you away from the industrial complex, and it keeps you away from what is actually really happening in your community. So hope that's a compromise.
Yeah. And so we thank you guys so much for rocking it out with us, because the dumbest shit that people say about black hair is that you don't need the license, you don't need the education, you don't need the support, you don't need the love. You need all that. You're going to get your money, but you do need that. We're going to close out with beauty business statement. I would like to give you a round of applause. I really appreciate everybody. Theo, it's always good seeing you in the chat. So I love when Theo pops through. So beauty business, I'm going to read your sentence and we're going to go ahead on and close it out. She says, I'm happy that I found your channel. Great conversations, lady. We do. We got to take back our what? Profession. We got to take back our profession. These people are not playing out here. They're coming after us. And people in their homes, they're not helping us. There are people who are on social media platforms who are steady attacking, but they have no solutions. And one of the things that Cheryl said is that we need to be able to solve our own problems. And that's all we want to do. We're not saying there's not some good points from in the house and out the house, but you know what? We got to get together, become a part of a larger group so that we can do exactly what beauty business has suggested. We have got to take back our profession. So thank you guys. You know what we're saying? We're always signing out, right? A whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure a whole lot of hair, right? But check it out. If you ain't got it, don't want it, can't stand it, can't grow it, hell, you plan on cutting it off? We say, don't even worry about that. bald head, bald patches, all that stuff is beautiful too. And so are you. We'll see you Thursday at 10 o'clock p.m. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe like my homegirl Beauty Business just did. Deuces, my good people. Sure, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
That was it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What?
Papa Bio.
About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.